Procession. Question for you, Bruffalo. Ever interviewed the King?
I have actually, and
thank goodness for that, because we didn't clearly fill a bit more time.
Yes, I'll tell you a couple of very long stories.
Carry on. You've got as long as you want it.
Oh, look, they're coming, I think.
Are they? I can't see them, Bruff. I haven't got my glasses on.
We're showing where they will be coming.
Where are they, Bruff?
I'll tell you about it, because the first time was in 1981 when he was getting ready to ride racing, and I was very struck by how intensely he took it. And he got himself incredibly fit. He was 11 stone then. He got himself to 11 stone. And I remember him telling me, we're going to see pictures of them going through Windsor Great Park and everything. He had it fitting.
Beautiful sunny day today.
Elversville time.
I think the King suddenly decided he wants to make an appearance before Bruff gets any more stories underway, doesn't he?
Oh dear. I was going to tell the story of the Princess Royal. It was equally a superb rider when she was on Question of Sport. Do you remember the picture board? When Emlyn Hughes had a look at it and he thought it was John Reed. Anyway, moving swiftly on, we're about to get a glimpse of the King, who is back for more.
He is back for more, so we're seeing him. It's wonderful to have the King back for the third time over the 4 days so far. So in the first carriage, we have the King, the Queen, the Lord Bamford and the Lady Bamford. And, you know, they have the Royal Runner today. We've just been hearing about that Hard to Resist in the Sandringham Stakes. They'll be no doubt hoping for a winner. And I have the details of the Queen's outfit and what she's wearing today. She has a duck egg blue coat dress by Anna Valentine, a feathered hat by Philip Tracy, and she is wearing the late Queen's brooch as well. It is the it's the Jardine brooch that she's wearing.
Oh wow, look.
There you are, which is quite a spectacular one. The Queen was lifted in 1981 by Lady Jardine, and she wore it to Ascot back in 2019, the Jardine Star Diamond brooch. So a lovely touch to Her late Majesty there as well. And I think the late Queen would have been so thrilled and proud actually to see them here, to see how the family have come together, to see how that royal love of horse racing is being continued here, isn't it? And she, I think, would have been thrilled about how the family is coming together. Lord Bamford and Lady Bamford, he's chairman of JCB. She is an organic food evangelist, the founder of Dalesford Organic Farm Shops, and they've got Dalesford Stud as well, breeding racehorses.
Yeah, I mean, she's very involved with Dalesford Stud, and they've had, they've had really good horses. They won the Oaks twice, Sariska 2019, Solstice last year, and she actually had a winner yesterday with a horse called Divine Presence. Oh. Lovely name.
Can I ask a technical question? How on earth does Lady Bamford, apart from using her right hand there, keep a hat of that nature on when it's breezing?
Well, there are various tricks that you can use, which basically involve an awful lot of pins and various bits of elastics. But I see she's needing some assistance there as well, because it's quite a journey that they have to make. And actually, we were talking to Major Will Tower earlier on. He'd been lucky enough to be in the procession. He said it's a little bit bumpy. So although it's a very special honour to have, it's not necessarily the most comfortable ride that they have.
It's even money for that hat to stay on, I think.
I know. Sariska would be a favourite, and her husband, of course, head of JCB, who sponsored the Triumph Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival. Those hats are staying on extremely well in carriage 2.
They've obviously got lots of hat pins, haven't they? In the second carriage, we've got Princess Beatrice, Mr. Eduardo Mapelli Mozzi, the Lord Frederick Windsor, and the Lady Frederick Windsor as well. Princess Beatrice, of course, eldest daughter of the Duke and Duchess of York. She is 9th in line to the throne, a non-working member of the royal family, but she has been stepping up recently to support the family and has been present at many more events like the Buckingham Palace garden parties, and there's no doubt the family will be relying on her more as well. And she's often here at Royal Ascot. She's a trophy presenter today. She's married to property company CEO Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi, member of an Italian noble family. And Princess Beatrice is also a Councillor of State, so that's an honour granted to the monarch's spouse and the next in line of succession over 21. So they act in His Majesty's place if he can't do duties.
Just to clarify, there was a tweet earlier from the Racing Post saying ITV was speculating that Taylor Swift might be in the Royal. we were having a giggle about it rather than thinking, she, I imagine, is warming up at Wembley somewhere. She's not in the Royal procession today, at least. Who's in carriage 3 then?
In carriage 3, we have General Sir Patrick Sanders, Lady Sanders, Mr. Peter Troughton, and Mrs. Peter Troughton. It's Armed Forces Day today, of course, as well, isn't it? Now, General Sir Patrick Sanders is a trophy presenter. He's been Chief of the General Staff, Head of the British Army for 2 years. He's stepping down this month, but he's had an army career spanning almost 4 decades. And then we have Mr. and Mrs. Peter Troughton as well. Sarah Troughton's a close friend of the Queen's, Lord Lieutenant of Wiltshire, so the royal family's representative there. And she's one of those who is a Queen's companion, essentially that Queen's lady in waiting.
Yeah, the Commonwealth Cup's our second race today. As you say, Sir Patrick will present that trophy, and there's going to be an absolute sea of colour as they celebrate the Commonwealth. Lots of High Commissioners and other individuals before and after that race as we go to carriage 4, and a very familiar face on the right there.
Yes, absolutely. So in the 4th carriage, we have Dame Darcy Bussell, we have Mr. Angus Forbes, Mr. Henry de Bromhead, Mrs. Henry de Bromhead, and of course Dame Darcy Bussell, the legendary ballerina, principal dancer with the Royal Ballet for over 20 years, a former judge on Strictly Come Dancing. She was there as a judge when I had my brief stint back in 2017.
What was your highest mark from Darcy?
Oh, let's not talk about it. Let's not. I think I'd have been lucky to get that.
You must have got a 10.
Honestly, I like to put it out of my head now. Let's not go over the details.
You did extremely well. We were very proud of you.
She was very gracious about my performance when I spoke to her about it afterwards, which was lovely of her. The King's a patron of the Royal Ballet. Queen Camilla is patron of the Royal Academy of Dance. And Dame Darcy Bussell, she's had an OBE, a CBE, DBE, and she's there in the carriage as well. Her husband Angus Forbes alongside her, and Mr. and Mrs. Henry de Bromhead, who we know, of course, from the horse racing world.
I tell you, he's a great dancer. It's this man. This man can move. Mark Hayes.
Incredible atmosphere here at the Windsor enclosure.
We couldn't really mess it up, the coverage of it, because it was so extraordinary in Honeysuckle and Constitution Hill that day. And we obviously were lucky to win a BAFTA for it. And Henry, typical Henry and Heather came over and wanted to talk about it on Tuesday, I think it was, which is typical of them. They're two very, very special people. And I hope the girls are watching and proud of Mum and Dad today.
No, racing is lucky to have.
Makes it difficult for these hats, Charlotte, but my word, it makes the Queen's hat look all the more dramatic.
I mean, those feathers, I was just going to say, how striking is that when you see the feathers playing in the breeze? And actually, we spoke to her friend that we mentioned earlier, Sarah Troughton. We actually interviewed her on Good Morning Britain a couple of years ago, and she said about the Queen, she is the nicest, most amusing friend one could possibly have.